Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Lies helping you live naturally in an unnatural world. Today I want to speak to you about a very important subject, and that is fatigue. Why are so many of us so tired? Look, there are many, many reasons why someone can be fatigued. However, if we keep digging down deeper and asking the why question, we're left with ultimately really one thing, and that is the mitochondria. I'm going to dig deeper into that as we go through the video. Before I get into it though, there's something else that we need to understand. If we're going to be trying to fix our fatigue, you need to measure it. You need to make sure you've got an objective way of assessing whether it's working or not. And what I highly suggest for people is to use the Oura, you can see it there, the Oura Ring, O-U-R-A. What it does is it properly measures your sleep, which is important for fatigue, and most importantly, it measures your stress so that you can also assess what impact that's having on your fatigue. So with all of that being said, one of the most common reasons that people's mitochondria are not working properly is the lack of exposure to light. Light and fatigue and the connection between the two may sound far-fetched at first, but it's not when you understand the connection between the application of near-infrared, red light, and other forms of light and how that impacts the mitochondria to increase its production of ATP, which is the energy within your body. More energy, less fatigue. Very simple equation. In order to understand all of this, though, we need to go back to the beginning. And I mean the beginning. What I'd like you to think about is when humans first lost their hair, there had to be an immediate benefit to losing hair, or else that mutation would not have survived. There is a paper, and I'll show you the title up here, that theorizes that this loss of hair in that first human, the benefit was so significant that that mutation stuck. What could the possible benefit be? Increased production of ATP. When you lose the hair, you can better absorb light, more energy, and with that energy, we were probably able to better develop our brain and in turn produce more energy so we could do more things. Another paper I'd like to share with you here is showing that this photobiomodulation, ability to absorb light, is actually present in virtually all life forms. And it's essentially an evolutionary thing where we require light to produce energy. We've been sort of inundated and perhaps brainwashed to think that only plants require light to produce energy. That's simply not true, and the research over the last number of years has shown that clearly. Let's look at this photobiomodulation process briefly for those of you that don't understand it. What you'll see up here on the screen is this application of red and near-infrared light. Those wavelengths can penetrate through the skin and they are absorbed within the mitochondria. And those mitochondria are in every tissue within your body. So the light is absorbed by the mitochondria, and the process of this increases ATP production, which you can see here. So when you apply light to humans, you increase your production of ATP, which is energy, and in turn, you have less fatigue. Now let's think big picture. Within the body, your body requires this energy to do everything that it needs to do. Some tissues require energy more than others, things like the brain. And if you look at the literature, we're finding that the application of red and near-infrared light is having massive implications on the brain because the brain has huge energy demands. And it would make sense with such huge demands that it might be one of the things to fatigue first. What would you see? Anxiety, depression, dementias, all those sorts of things are what we're seeing. And when you apply the light to the brain or to the body, you're seeing massive changes with brain function because you have more energy. Another massive energy requiring organ is the thyroid. And most of you'd be aware there's a lot of thyroid problems out there. What are we finding? Well, a study from a few years ago showed that they could get 50% of people off of thyroid medication. This 2020 study, you can see the title up here, is also showing that you can significantly improve thyroid function by the application of light. Another application that's proving to be immensely popular is sports performance. The World Anti-Doping Association, WADA, is looking into this application of red and near-infrared light, photobiomodulation, because it's performance enhancing. How? One of the ways is it increases your ATP. And if you're an athlete, the more energy you have, the more you can do, the better you're going to perform. So really, if you stop and think about it, any tissue is going to perform better when it has more energy. If you're fatigued and tired, your goal is to create more energy, the application of this photobiomodulation will increase your ATP production and will therefore decrease your fatigue. If you're very serious about this, measure it. Get an Oura ring or other ways of measuring your energy production, your sleep, your stress, and assess it for yourself. Now, one last little point I would make is that most of us, the vast majority of us, are light deficient. Sounds odd again, but think about it from the perspective of vitamin D. Most of us acknowledge there's a significant vitamin D problem out there, and that's because we don't get exposed to enough daylight, ultraviolet light in this case, to produce the vitamin D. The point would be we don't get enough light. And in this situation, from a fatigue perspective, we don't get enough red and near-infrared light. We need more of it. So if you want to fix your fatigue, that's why you're watching the video, you need to increase that. How do you do it? Naturally, you need to get outside. You need to get outside in the mornings and in the evenings. Not the middle of the day so much because there's too much UV light. You need the mornings and the evenings, sunrise, sunset. Get as much of that light as you can, and that should do the trick. But for those of you that can't or won't do that, you will then need to apply this red and near-infrared light through artificial means. The two ways to do that are through LED panels, which you can get, or through the use of near-infrared saunas and these incandescent heat lamps. Both will work. It really suits your preference and your needs and what you're able to do. But if you would like more information on the near-infrared saunas and even LEDs, visit our website. You can see the address at the bottom of the page through here. We've got a learning center where you can learn about how this light can help you with way more than just fatigue. All kinds of things more than fatigue. Have a look at that. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, the share button. We appreciate it so much the more you can get this information out to people and help support the channel. Again, I'm Dr. Todd Lizon. Until next time, keep well.